everyone, this is Brooke Roberts from Inside Study Abroad, and today I am taking you inside the world of international admissions and student recruitment. This past February, I was very lucky and got to travel around for about 2 weeks with my friend Girish Ballolla and his company GenNext Education. We were traveling around a ton of different cities in India with about a dozen different international admissions recruiters from all across the United States. I think it's really interesting why Girish created this company and his philosophy and vision for what he wants to do in India and how he wants to expose more Indian young people to educational opportunity all around the world. You're also going to hear from a few international recruiters about what it means to be an international admissions recruiter and also what it's like to work with an organization like GenNext. So I hope you enjoy this little glimpse inside the world of international admissions, and I will see you on the inside. Bye for now.
Because GenNext Education is unlike any other organization that you'll find within the international education space in India. With our ability to understand the universities that we work with, the programs they offer, while at the same time really understanding the needs of the student and their families, we're able to match them. Our goal is to help students find the right fit. I'm Girish Ballolla, CEO of GenNext Education. We're an international education company with a focus on India. We work with US universities and we help them develop and execute their India-specific strategies. And in India, we work with high schools and colleges and parents and students and help them explore opportunities to study in the US. Our approach in India has always been to really develop that culture of study abroad at the high school level, which means targeting schools that are of national and state level curricula, who are not exposed to these opportunities, whose systems do not have a guidance counselor to help their students explore opportunities beyond high school. So that's the first and the foremost challenge in India. So our focus, the model that we created, is that we work with the schools and we help develop that culture within the high school setting. A tour company could also provide the same kind of an engagement, arguably, but what they lack then is the ability to keep that student and the parent engaged throughout the cycle. So our model is based on a consortium model, where we have a consortium of universities that belong to our platform in India, which is the International Knowledge Center. Our center and our staff are equipped to not only strategically develop the strategies for India, but also tactically coordinate them.
You're exposing yourself to many other opportunities that you've never thought possible. And if you do decide you want to change your mind, we want to offer you that opportunity.
Our main connections, as we said, we conduct something called as India Calling. So when we are on India Calling, we meet with these principals and counselors at each of these universities, and that's where our role begins. And we are in connection with them. So any of the interested students from various cities, I'm not just talking about Bangalore where we are based, but across India, the cities that we visited. So we are in touch with them, and if there are any events happening or any of the students interested in any of the universities that we travel with, they connect us and we help and guide students, and that's how our connections has grown.
A group of US universities travel with us to go to several high schools. They want to go to high schools to meet students, right? So what we do is that we, from A to Z of that trip, from transportation, shipping, printing for universities, to scheduling the meetings, making sure that for our events, marketing for the events, marketing for the workshops, everything. So everything goes within it. That's what we do. But it's a tour for US universities to come and conduct workshops to increase, one, to increase the study abroad awareness in Indian schools. Two, to build their brand in India. Three, hopefully it will bring in more applications for them.
So a university might come to India and visit a bunch of high schools, talk to students, make a presentation, and then leave. But what they don't have in place is a process to engage those students and their parents and personalize their experience in the entire recruitment process. In India, you don't recruit the students, you recruit the parents.
From the time the student comes and says, well, I know what I want to study, till the moment where we put them on the plane and they're off to the US, till the pre-departure orientation, visa process, finance, everything.
In India, most of the students are very much interested in pursuing master's program or a PhD, those kind of interests, but they don't know what to do, and that's what I do here, guiding them, finding them the right fit of program, helping them through the entire process.
High school students, 16, 17-year-old kids who woke up one morning, haven't really thinking about anything. I mean, they just got up, got ready, went to school. And yes, in the back of their mind, they're thinking about college because they're in the 11th or the 12th grade, and that's kind of like the next step. But given the process in India, they don't have to think about it till later in the process. And then we show up, a bunch of strangers from various universities, and this Indian guy who stands in front of them and tells them stories about opportunities that he discovered and how it changed his life and how it could change their life. And so we encourage them to engage in the process that day in the conversation, not just with me, but also the university representatives. But I think even more so the fact that I could be a shadow of their own self, that they kind of see themselves achieving some of the things that I've achieved, I think really, really resonates with them. Right? So I think our work, not just mine, but my colleagues and all the universities that come to India, I'd like to refer to as destiny bending. We're really changing lives.
Well, I'm a product of study abroad because, I'm originally from Jordan. I moved to the US 8 years ago. And so my life was a series of various study abroad opportunities. And I think that was the start of infatuation in the field. And frankly, I didn't even know there was a field of international education until I fell into it. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
So yeah, I just kind of fell into it, but then I loved it because I loved working with the students and their parents and being able to use my sales skills that I had learned, but also to know it was for something good, not just to sell a product. Usually what I tell people is it's helpful if you have a background in customer service or you've worked at a restaurant or you've worked in retail, to know that it's not just like this glamorous university job where you're just an administrator. I mean, you're definitely out pounding the pavement, so to speak, and so it's pretty grueling work, especially the travel it can be intense. People think it's really glamorous where you're going to these amazing cities, but the flights alone are kind of killer.
I'm really excited to meet some students today. Another school, another day. Quick from international school and getting ready to do another set of presentations. We are in Woody's. So what are we eating? It's another day, another school.
You really have to be adaptable. You have to be able to walk into different situations. You're going to be uncomfortable because it's going to put you outside your own comfort zone. And you have to be able to, let's say you're in China and you're now handing business cards with both hands. And you have to go to Korea and immediately switch that to just one hand, putting it underneath the other hand. And you have to be aware of these subtle cultural nuances, greetings, just to personalize the attention that you're giving to these families or students or people that you're interacting with.
But to know that you do have that, as long as you're motivated by doing something good and you're okay with the numbers game, because there's a ton of pressure. And you have to be able to deal with that and not let it take you down.
It's a job. I mean, people may have a sense of novelty to it, but at the end of the day, it's a job, and you're going to be exhausted. You have to be on all the time, and you have to repeat the same thing over and over and over again with the same delivery message and with the same excitement to these families, because you need to give that same attention to everybody. So it's exhausting end of the day. But at the same time, it's so rewarding if you're someone who enjoys that. The biggest misconception is you walk into a high school and the expectation is that we're going to get applications from that high school. I think that many research has shown that in order to build a successful pipeline, it takes between 3 to 5 years, and especially for institutions that are not so popular. Maybe they're popular in the U.S., but people have not heard of these institutions.
Nobody knows our school when I come to these countries, so I need to have somebody who's on the ground, who has the connections in the schools, because it's impossible sometimes to get into schools on your own. And if you're not, a top 50 school, they're just not going to let you in. So for me, it's the logistics. I would have a really hard time just scheduling things on my own, so they're the experts. I love that. And just the insights that they have about the market. Every country is different. You can't take the strategy we use in Norway or China and apply that to India. Tenacity, just knowing that you may have to make a ton of phone calls or do 100 emails before you'll hear back from one student. So being able to have that drive within yourself, because you don't always have people who are telling you what to do, or a lot of times in international admissions, you're a rogue person on your campus, so you have to be really self-driven. Public speaking skills, even if you're an introvert like I am, to be able to talk to a room of 300 people and be okay with that. And just know yourself, know that you have to take time afterwards to recharge. When I come on one of these tours and I'm meeting with students one-on-one, and it's just so fun to bond with them and see that we can really change their lives. So I've got that personal thing where I really like to just be goal-oriented, but also know that I'm helping people.
Having had that international student experience, I'm in a position of replicating that for anyone that I meet around the world, and so that's exciting.
25 years ago, had an opportunity to go abroad. I did it against all odds, right? So when I think about what I'm doing now and what my purpose is, if I can change one life,